You know, we always think that getting rich is about getting a bigger paycheck. But what if I told you that's not it at all? The real secret? It's a completely different way of thinking. So let's unpack the actual blueprint, the 1% used to build real, lasting wealth.
Okay, so take a look at this. This chart is, well, it's pretty revealing. 75% entrepreneurs, 15% investors. You see the pattern here? They all own something. Businesses, stocks, real estate, you name it. But look over here. What's at 0%? Employees, people who only have a salary. That right there is the big secret we're going to talk about.
And this quote, wow, it really hits you, right? If you don't own something, you are what's owned. I mean, let that sink in for a second. It just completely flips the script. The goal isn't just about earning more money, it's about owning the things that make money for you, even when you're not working.
Okay, so that's the big idea, but how do you actually do it? How do you start owning? Well, there's a system for that. A practical, step-by-step rule, the 25, 15, 50, 10 rule. And the best part? This isn't some high-level theory. It's a real framework that works no matter what your income is, and it's designed to get you thinking and acting like the 1%.
So let's dive into that rule. But first, to really get why this is so powerful, we have to talk about the trap it helps you escape.
The source has a pretty intense name for it: modern-day slavery. And you know exactly what this feels like, right? You get paid, you feel rich for a week, and then suddenly you're scraping by, just waiting for the next payday. It's this endless cycle that keeps you stuck on a treadmill, working harder and harder just to stay in the same place. There's no way to get ahead.
All right, here's your escape hatch. The first piece of the puzzle, the 25% growth engine. This is where the magic happens. This is where you start owning. A full quarter of every dollar you earn goes towards one thing: buying assets. Things that actually work for you, making money while you eat, sleep, whatever. Now, I know what you're thinking. 25%? I don't have that kind of money. But check this out. Let me tell you a story about two guys, Billy and Phil. Billy, he's just 20, starts investing a modest $200 a month. His buddy Phil waits a decade, till he's 30, but he invests even more, $300 a month, to try and catch up. So who ends up with more? What do you think?
The results are absolutely insane. So Phil does okay, right? He ends up with over $678 grand. Not bad. But Billy? Billy has over $1.2 million. Think about that. He invested less money overall, but ended up with almost double what Phil did. Why? All because he had an extra 10 years for his money to work. That, my friends, is the incredible power of compounding.
So where do you even put this money? It can feel overwhelming, I get it, but let's break it down by risk. For pretty much anyone starting out, low-risk index funds are the way to go. You're not gambling on one company, you're just buying a tiny slice of the whole pie, like the S&P 500. It's simple, it's effective. And then, as you get more comfortable, you can start looking at other things.
And getting started is way easier than you think. It's literally 3 steps. 1, pick your asset. Let's just say an S&P 500 fund. Easy. 2, open up an account that gives you a tax break, like a Roth IRA. That means all your growth is tax-free. Awesome. And 3, this is the most important step of all, put it on autopilot. Set up an automatic transfer for the day you get paid. That way the money is invested before you even see it. No willpower required. Okay, so you've got your growth engine firing on all cylinders. Great. But what happens if life throws a wrench in the works? You need a defense. You need a shield. That's what this next 15% is for. It's your stability shield, and its job is to make sure one bad day doesn't wreck your whole plan.
And there's a personal story in the source that really drives this home. When he was 18, his car engine just blew up. He had 0 savings, no backup, no safety net. He had to go into debt just to deal with it, and that one single event torpedoed his finances for a full year. That's why this isn't a nice to have. It's absolutely essential.
So how do you build this shield? It's simple. Step 1. Figure out your bare bones monthly expenses and multiply that by 5. That's your goal. Step 2, stick that money in a high-yield savings account. You want it safe, but you also want it easily accessible if you need it. And step 3, just like before, automate it. Funnel 15% of your income into that account on payday until you hit your target.
All right, on to the biggest chunk of your money, the 50% essentials cap. This covers the must-haves, your rent or mortgage, your groceries, your bills. But there's a golden rule here. This money is to feed your family, not your ego.
You'd think making a lot of money solves all your problems, right? Well, get this. A staggering 60% of Americans who make over 100 grand a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. 60%. How is that even possible? It's a sneaky little thing called lifestyle creep. The more you make, the more you spend. It's a trap, and it will absolutely destroy your ability to build wealth.
And this really gets to the core of it. We all see the flashy stuff on social media, right? The fancy cars, the designer bags, but that's not wealth. That's just spending. Real wealth is the stuff you can't see. It's the stock portfolio that's growing in the background. It's the emergency fund that lets you sleep at night. That's the real deal.
So, how do you fight that urge to spend? How do you keep your essentials under that 50% cap? Because let's be honest, just telling yourself no doesn't work. Willpower is a muscle, and it gets tired. You don't need more willpower. What you need is a better system.
And here's a brilliant little system you can use right away, the 7-day rule. It's so simple. The next time you get that itch to buy something you don't really need, don't say no. Just say not yet. Write it down and wait 7 days. It's amazing how often that I have to have it feeling just evaporates. You'll find you didn't really want it after all.
And this really boils down to your mindset when you shop. Ask yourself, am I buying this because of the brand name, because of some slick marketing that's trying to get me to impress other people? Or am I buying this for its value, for its quality, for how it will actually make my life better? Shifting from brand to value is a total game changer.
Okay, we've covered a lot. The growth, the shield, the cap, but we're at the final piece, the 10% sanity saver. And honestly, this might be the most important part of the entire system, because this is what makes it all stick. This is the money that keeps you from going crazy.
I mean, let's be real. If your budget feels like a strict diet where you can't have anything fun, you're going to fail. It's just human nature. So think of this 10% as your strategic cheat meal. It's not an excuse to go wild. It's a planned strategy to make this whole thing sustainable for the rest of your life.
So here's how you do it. You open a totally separate bank account. Call it your joy jar or your fun fund or whatever you want. And just like everything else, you automate 10% of your paycheck into it. And that money? It's yours to spend, completely guilt-free. The key advice here is to spend it on experiences, not just more stuff. Create memories, don't just create clutter. And what does that look like? Well, it could be a weekend getaway. It could be investing in a hobby you're passionate about. It's those nights out with friends you'll remember for years. It's being able to buy a gift for someone you love without stressing about it. This isn't frivolous spending. This is investing in your own happiness. It's the fuel that keeps you going.
And that really brings us full circle. Because the point of all this entire system, it isn't just about having a huge number in a bank account. It's about buying back your life. It's about buying freedom. The freedom from waking up at 3 a.m. stressed about bills. The freedom to choose work you love, not just work you need. The freedom to simply not think about money. And that's the real question, isn't it? What would that kind of freedom look like for you?